place. She's like a fun thing. I love her.
My name is Katherine, and I'm the Assistant Director of Diversity Programs and Cultural Centers. And I would like to introduce Patrice Robinson.
And I am Patrice Robinson, the current manager for the Afro-American Cultural Center.
We would like to welcome everyone back to the University of Iowa for the 41st celebration of the Afro-American Cultural Center.
I have the great honor of introducing Dr. Tom Rocklin. He serves as Interim President for Student Services and Dean of Student Services at the University of Iowa. And I have enjoyed working with him.
Thank you, Nancy. There's really nothing you could have said better than that. You thought I was a good guy. That's pretty much all I need. It is a great pleasure to welcome you on behalf of the University of Iowa to today's ceremony and to a weekend of sharing old memories and creating new memories.
He is currently the Vice President of Student Affairs and Assistant Professor of Higher Education at Tennessee State University. Speaking on administration, administration is the management of business operation, also acting to direct a group of people towards a common goal. This shows that Dr. Michael Freeman has excellent leadership skills and is a responsible person.
Thanks so much, Chris. I do want you to know that several folks have already given a good deal of my keynote. I appreciate that, Tom.
Sorry, man.
Dr. Woodard and Chris, a number of folks have already given you a record of the Afro-American Cultural Center, an enviable record over 41 years. I'd like to talk to you a little bit about my own experience with the Afro-American Cultural Center, having served as its manager in 1980 and 81. The Afro House was created as a refuge for black students, for many who had come from many different places, larger and smaller than Iowa City. I don't know about you, but coming to Iowa City from Chicago in 1976 was a bit of a shock. I was dropped off at the bus station, which used to be a gas station. It had a Greyhound sign in the window. My trunk and my box on the ground. Had it not been for the men of Omega Psi Phi fraternity, I would not have found Burge Hall up the road. They picked up my trunks and got me there. But still, I could remember in that year going a whole day sometimes and not seeing anyone black. I lived in Burge Hall my first year, and it was later on that somebody suggested maybe I go visit the Afro House, and this is on the other side of the river. I don't exactly remember the first time I went to the Afro House. I think it was maybe game night. But the house soon became a regular stop during the week. It was also about this time I met Marilyn Turner, Afro House manager in the fall of 1978. By the time I became house manager, the house had been in existence for 12 years. Had it not been for the support of Colleen Jones, then Director of Special Support Services, and Marilyn Turner, who had a great deal of faith, and I don't know why, but a great deal of faith in my abilities, I don't think I would have made it. So my year was fairly easy as house manager. Marilyn had set the blueprint. I just needed to follow through. I'm going to do some skipping now. Get along. Meetings were held here. Kwanzaa celebration was held here. Game night and the Afro House barbecue, which was an annual community event, and that's just to name a few. Gifted artists, Essex Hubbard, designed and painted the logo. Marilyn and other folks who spent lots of time at the house, Tori Berry and Steve Berry, designed a brochure in collaboration with Special Support Services. I don't know how many of y'all, do we still have the Afro House brochure? That same one? You didn't need an appointment. You didn't need a specific purpose. All were welcome. You could just come hang out. Finally, and most importantly, black students currently enrolled at Iowa have an awesome obligation to maintain the purpose of the Afro House. You too have a responsibility to advance the center, to move it forward, to provide the necessary information and evidence that black people have been at Iowa, are at Iowa, and will be at Iowa in the future. Coming home to the Afro House at the University of Iowa brought back feelings and experiences I hadn't thought about in years. Congratulations on 41, and thank you so much again.
I was one of the students who was at the very first dedication of the building on Capitol and Market Streets. And quite despite the sociological data that had African Americans sort of a monolithic group, we found out on the campus that we had come from many different places, had many different backgrounds, and did not indeed know each other. The African American Center was a place for us to come together and to know what it was like to live in Mississippi, what it was like to live in California, what it was like to grow up in Kansas City, and so on. We were not all the same. And this cultural center was one of the places that we were able to really develop our individual selves and come to appreciate ourselves as individuals.
I guess I would just say that the Afro House was always a place where we would come to have fun, and we had a good time. We always thought the floor was going to fall in because we partied so hard here. But we also had programming here, and I would say that we had a great time in the 70s.
I started going to school here in 1977. I was introduced to the Afro House. I was standing right out there. Some kind of way we ventured here in front of the Afro House, and I'm from the inner city of Chicago. But I was standing right outside in front of the Afro House, and I was afraid to come in. And I'm asking people, what's up with this house here? You know, because if you look at it, it just looks like just a plain house that somebody lives in. And you know, from where I'm from, you know, you just don't go into people's houses, you know. So I had to wait and be invited to come into the house. And then I found out, okay, this house is my house. This house is our house.
Like many generations before us, students in the 90s took solace in knowing that our house, the Afro House, was here for us. It was a place for revolutionaries to exchange ideas on race, politics, music, religion, and other issues of the day. It was a haven of release, a place for you to take your mini masks off and just enjoy being here at the university. It was a place to fellowship with your friends, fraternity brothers, and sorority sisters. And it was here that we, the students of the 90s, organized to combat and figure out a plan to address the racist cartoon that was run in the Daily Iowan. So on this day, as we rededicate the house, let us also rededicate ourselves to the principles for which it is represented for over 4 decades. Let us not only preserve, but improve what the Afro-American Cultural Center has meant to generations of black students here in Iowa City. We must stand for unity, stand for purpose, but most of all, stand together so that this house, this place that we call our own, will stand for another 4 generations. Thank you.